It's alright like that?
I think that should be chills, right?
Hey, Fran, so what's next for Paratodo?
Can I change my chair?
Yeah, it looks uncomfortable.
I need one though. That one right there.
I wanted Fran to sit in this one.
Why? That's not funny.
Kev, he tried to make us do earlier.
Fucking heavy, bro.
This is actually like they did pretty much. I get a little tired too.
This is.
Are you uncomfortable?
What's up, guys? Key and Rick from P's and Q's here. We have Francis Young from Paratodo joining us. Fran, you want to just tell us a little bit about yourself? That question sucks.
Yeah.
I guess let's start from the beginning. Maybe tell us a little bit about you before Paratodo.
Before Paratodo?
Like one of my favorite questions is like what high school you went to. Obviously, I feel like that shapes what kind of a kid you were in Philly. Obviously, you're bad as shit, so you could give us the whole rundown
Oh my god.
on all the high schools you went to.
So I went to two different high schools. One, I went to Philadelphia Academy Charter School. I got kicked out of there.
Why did you get kicked out, Francis?
I was just a bad kid. I don't know.
What did you do? What did you do?
Was
to
it
get
like
kicked
bad
out?
grades or?
I got caught stealing an iPad.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Damn, that was probably a heavy iPad back then.
No,
right?
iPod.
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 Yeah, so we're taking it back.
From a teacher?
No,
Or a
from
student?
no, from a student who stole it from somebody else. So it was stolen goods already.
Oh,
So
I guess that's fair game.
yeah, but regardless, I stole an iPod like an idiot, and then I got kicked out, and then I went to Washington, and I guess I was still bad there. So I don't know. I
You
was
got kicked out of there too?
No, I didn't get kicked
Oh,
out of
okay.
there. I eventually got let back into the charter school and finished out high school, and then I didn't know what I wanted to do, and I decided to enroll at like CCP, the community college, and pretty much studied criminal justice for a few years and realized that that's not what I wanted to do either.
Funny that you stole pretty much in high school and you want to study criminal justice. Is that kind
But
of
you also minor in Spanish too, right?
I eventually
As a language.
decided to minor in Spanish, and then I ended up really liking it a lot. And I don't know, I was like friends with like a lot of like Latinos and people who spoke Spanish, so I was kind of always around it. And I decided to major in it because the credits were like not that far off from the minor. And one of the ways to earn credits was to enroll in this immersion program where pretty much you would study in South America. And I did that for about like a month and a half at Temple. And then, yeah, that's kind of what, like, being around that and everything. I don't know how else to answer this, dude.
No, I mean,
I'm sorry.
These are all good. I mean, so did this help your rap music?
Oh yes, that's right.
Did you have a rap name?
No.
How many tracks did you drop?
I had a very short-lived rap career when I was like 18
Why did you want to become a rapper? That's the question.
because I was stupid. I don't know.
Okay. Well,
Is that why you saw the iPod to be inspired?
Yeah,
and
I
do
was
some music?
like, I'm gonna get booked. I'm gonna do time, and I'll have something to write about and rap about.
but then let's pretty much what led you to, I guess, like how did you come about, like I guess, like I guess like how did you get to like Abacus? Let's get to that part.
Well,
Oh.
yeah, you go
Good.
for it.
In terms of that, how did that go about then?
Okay. I guess. All right. So with Abacus and like streetwear in general, I was kind of always into clothing. But I lived in like far northeast Philly, so like getting down to like South Street and like even like the gallery and all that stuff. It was like a bus ride and the train ride, and it would take like an hour to like get into like that part of the city. So it wasn't as always accessible. But when I was 18, I started working in Chinatown at a gas station, and that's when I first like was introduced to Abacus. And I was like, at first I thought they were selling knockoffs because I was like, oh, they have all these like sneakers that I've read about, but they're from like years ago, and there's no way that they have them and everything. And then eventually I decided to go in there, and I don't know, I fell in love with it ever since.
Now, can we talk about the type of hairstyle you had when you came in?
I'm trying to remember what that time. Did I have my hair cut already, or did I have long hair?
You had long hair.
Oh, okay. So I had long hair, like kind of like down to my chest. Sometimes I'd have it braided. Sometimes I'd just have it in like the ponytail. And then, yeah, I don't know. I don't know what the fuck I was thinking with that haircut, honestly.
Now, tell people why you cut your hair.
Oh, yeah. So one time I was like driving. I went to like Dunkin' Donuts or like McDonald's or something. I was in the drive-thru and it was like late at night, and I was like about to pull away and I was just like checking my bag just to make sure I had everything, and I just hear like some guy say, "Yo, baby," and I'm like, "What the fuck?" I was like, "Who the fuck?" And I like looked around. There's no girl in my car or anything like that. And I turned down my window and he said, "Oh shit!" And he thought I was a girl. So I was like, okay, I gotta cut my hair. And then I decided to like get it like a lower cut and everything.
Oh man.
The crazy thing that guy was me.
Yeah.
No.
It probably was you stalking me.
But I guess your relationship with us and Abacus in the beginning was like you helped us with modeling, you did the anniversary stuff and other stuff. I guess kind of talk about your relationship with Abacus and what it was to you at the time.
I mean, that was like my first like introduction, like formal introduction into like streetwear and all that stuff. Like I had kind of heard of some of these companies and everything, and I never personally owned a lot of it. I mean, I owned like maybe like some stuff from like 10 Deep or like Obey or something like that, or maybe even Stussy. But other than that, I really didn't know about like Crooks and Castles or like Stussy or Naked and Famous and like all these other like companies that were flying under the radar in like 2011, 2010. I don't want to say Stussy was flying under the radar in 2010, but
Right.
like for me at least.
Right.
But so after going in and like meeting you guys and just it was a shop that I never even had that experience of like going into a store. Every time I would go into a store, it's very transactional, and this felt more, I don't know, like community based. I mean, you guys like asked who I was. You guys got to know me just as much as I got to know you. And when you guys asked me to model, I think the anniversary stuff is like the first time I was, oh shit, like I can be a part of this in a bigger way than just being a customer. So I think that is like what made me fall in love with like both the store and just like the idea of like, okay, clothing is a little bit more than just like articles of like, I don't know, textiles that you throw on yourself. So
What was your style before, I guess, streetwear? How would you describe it?
I don't know. It was like I grew up during like the mid 2000s, so it's like I was influenced a lot more by like, I don't know, like rappers and shit and like music at that time. And like during that era, unfortunately, it was like when kids were trying to like mimic the 80s. So like skinny jeans and stuff were like coming into style, and like wearing like those big ass like starter jackets with like the skinny pants and like the, what's it called, like snapbacks and everything like that. So I think a lot of that was kind of what shaped my original interest in like streetwear and stuff like that. And then, yeah, I guess that was pretty much what you would call it. I don't know if there's like a term for it or whatever.
I mean, are we gonna start designing skinny jeans for Paratodo?
Fuck no. No. I mean, I don't think I could even go back to wearing them just because they're just uncomfortable. I don't even know what I was thinking. So that's
Well, you never know, because the fact that, everything comes,
No, they were uncomfortable even back then. I don't think, I mean, I don't know how long like really baggy pants will be like in fashion, like at least for the time being. Like they're gonna be here for a little while, but I mean after that, I can't see people going back to wearing like skin tight pants. So it might be like something more like straight leg and everything that might have like a more timeless feel. But yeah, I'm never gonna design skinny jeans.
I guess after Abacus, you converted to P's and Q's. I guess, can you touch base on your experience through P's and Q's?
So yeah, I mean like P's and Q's obviously is like a little bit more of like a mature style. Kept a lot of the same elements. You guys like started carrying a little bit of overlap. I think like maybe like 10 Deep and Stussy were like some of like the companies that you guys continued to carry. But then you introduced me to a lot more of like refined products, like stuff like from like Norse Projects and like at the time like Penfield and like all these other companies that they made really well constructed garments. They used like really nice materials. It was stuff that was a lot pricier for like, at the time I was working at a gas station, so I was like, I can't afford everything, but it was stuff that I was like really intrigued by. And I think as I was getting older, because I think I was like maybe like 20 or 21 when you guys opened P's and Q's, so that was pretty much like me coming into, I don't want to say adulthood, but I'm starting to like get older, I can't wear the same stuff that I was when I was like 18 and stuff. So, yeah, I mean, it was kind of like the mature, like gradual, like maturity of that.
I guess, do you recall how many years you worked at P's and Q's?
So
You started the women's shop first, right? Or
well, like I think I kind of interned. I interned for P's and Q's for like a couple of months in 2015, and then I think you officially brought me on in 2016. I don't remember if that was like after. I think that was after Beige. Yeah. So yeah, for like a couple of months, and then I got hired I think I got hired in like January of 2016. So like the very beginning of 2016, and then I worked there till November of 2021. So 5 years. So yeah.
You kind of did everything. Like, you didn't just like help run the shop. You helped marketing, telling stories, more so in the sense of help modeling as well.
Yeah.
Like the whole works. Did any of that experience kind of help you with your brand itself? Like, how do you bridge both worlds with P's and Q's, with Paratodo, and then the birth of Paratodo as well?
Well, I mean, like I started formulating the idea for Paratodo in like 2015, and then I launched it in 2016. So it kind of does like coincide with my time working at P's and Q's and like the start of all that. I'd say just from like the like working at P's and Q's, I learned more than probably most would ever learn, like to start a business. So like I learned one about like pretty much like building an audience that would be interested in the products that you're gonna release, and then also kind of like the back end stuff as well. And then just like the importance of like throwing events, the importance of like educating people about products and stuff like that. So I think all of that is kind of like, I guess you could call it like informal training into learning how to start a company like that is in the clothing industry. So that's kind of how I feel about it.
I feel like Paratodo, especially in P's and Q's and Philly and obviously worldwide, it's a very unique brand, very creative, heavy into quality. It's a very different brand from others, but at the same time, I feel like a lot of brands also kind of take a page from your book here and there. How do you deal with it? Do you try to recreate the wheel again, or do you just keep going forward with your style? Like, what do you do?
I mean, I think the thing that helps us is that, like, I tend to not release a lot of the same silhouettes year after year after year. So I think there are some staples that I've released like multiple times, but for the most part, I'm always trying to like, in like your words, like reinvent the wheel. So like trying to create like new pieces, and then that way I don't have to really worry about like if somebody's trying to like copy our style or whatever the case may be. I mean, if some people are taking our like or taking inspiration from us, or are even like for lack of a better word, stealing our designs or something like that. Like honestly, there's nothing I can do about it. I'm not gonna waste my time trying to call that person out or whatever the case may be. I'm just gonna have to, it just makes me work even harder to try and like invent something new and like, all right, make their job a little bit harder to steal it. You know what I mean? So that's kind of like my thought process.
I guess I should have asked you earlier, but just taking a couple of steps back, we know what Paratodo is. We were there since the beginning of it. I feel like a lot of our audience that do buy Paratodo, they just love your product. They love the garments. They love the colors. They love the design. They love the quality. I guess for those that don't know about Paratodo, can you just kind of describe it to them real quick on like what the name's about, what you guys do every season? I guess like the breakdown of the brand.
Yeah. All right. So Paratodo means for all in Spanish. It's kind of like an abbreviation of those two words. And basically the idea was to start a company that would also be able to like give back to like the community and be able to like help people in need and everything. So that's why we collaborate each year with a new nonprofit and donate 25% of our profits to them. Right now we're working with an organization called Prevention Points, and it's like a harm reduction / drug rehabilitation type of style program. And yeah, so like the idea is to, it doesn't have to be like one or the other. It doesn't have to be a company that like makes kind of BS products, but then has like a really good social initiative, and it doesn't have to be like a high-end fashion brand that doesn't give back to anybody. I think us bridging that gap is kind of where I wanted to really emphasize like the idea of Paratodo.
I guess with the brand itself, is there anything in the works in the future that you can tell our audience about?
So we're on year 8. We'll probably be, I mean, next year will be our 9th year. Actually, we're going to be, wait, when is this releasing?
Probably not for a month, maybe.
Okay. All right. So
If you don't want to talk about it, too, you don't.
No, it's fine. Well, so next year we're going to be participating in like a showroom and like showing at like Fashion Week and stuff like that. So it's like one of those new developments in the company to help us reach new audiences and reach new customers. And then also, in a sense, like I don't know like how else to put it other than like it kind of gets other eyes on the brand that would not have seen it prior. And that's like a big thing that I've been working on. So it's like a lot of sampling, a lot of like organizing and everything like that and designing like kind of like a showcase for it and everything. So it's a new thing for me and for the company, and I don't know, I'm really excited for it, but that's going to be in 2025.
So, talking about the company, who is part of the company?
In terms of what do you mean?
I guess, do you have employees, workers, or people that kind of help out?
It's still like a loose network of friends that just help me out. Like, I mean, I pay them per gig, but I don't have anybody as like a full-time employee. So it is pretty much me that's doing like a lot of like the back end and even like some of like the order fulfillment and everything. But like, I mean, I have homies that help me. My friend Aiden helps me like style a lot of the shoots. My friend Pat helps shoot them. My friend Eric, he helps do all like the videos. My friend Aniel helps do like some of the set design and stuff like that. And then honestly, like my girlfriend helps me out with like a lot of the like the back end stuff. Sometimes she'll help me like tag some of this stuff if like my manufacturer forgot to tag it or something like that. So yeah, it's like a group of friends that help me out, but it's still like no employees, unfortunately.
What's probably the most difficult part, I guess, like in terms of like having like Paratodo? What's probably like manufacturing, marketing, like, or just the manpower? What's probably the most difficult thing you like dealt with so far?
I mean, honestly, it's like I think just being an independent company of like not having any like, you know, investors or corporate sponsors or anything like that. It's honestly funding. It's like, yeah, I think year after year we've been growing and we've been able to like outdo last year, or like the year prior. Yeah, knock on wood. I think we've been doing like pretty well with that. But then the idea is like, yeah, we still have to like front the money for like production. It's not like we get like an allowance from whatever investor or whatever so we have to always kind of utilize our own. So that it kind of makes it hard to take chances sometimes on new silhouettes, but it's just one of those things where I try to introduce new silhouettes little by little versus like, oh, okay, like this year is completely different than next year. Like, or I mean, this year is completely different than last year. It's going to be, we're going to introduce like maybe like 4 or 5 new pieces and then have like maybe 10 of the same pieces, like same silhouettes, but maybe not the same like textures or fabrics or anything.
When you guys design in terms of like the ratio, like in terms of tees and cut and sew, is there like a balance or something like that?
I mean, before I used to do a lot more T-shirts and everything like that. Honestly, we kind of scaled that a lot back just because, I mean, it's one of those things where, honestly, it's weird to say it, but a lot of the graphics and stuff I'm very intentional about. So and it takes me a while to do those. So I only put out the amount of graphics that I really feel comfortable and I'm happy with the designs with. And I think I put a lot more effort into the designs now than I probably did in the past, but I do less designs, if that makes sense.
Yes.
Yeah. So it's probably like at this point, maybe like 80% cut and sew and like 20% graphics.
if you guys don't know, Fran travels a lot. So where are you gonna go this year, 2025? Because that's where you get your inspiration, right? Paratodo in general.
To a degree. I mean, it's kind of hard to beat. Japan was last year. So I'm gonna go to Paris in January, and then I think in summertime might either do Italy or Japan again.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what's the trip that? Where do you want to go that you haven't been that you've been kind of like one eye?
Either Peru or possibly Thailand. Yeah, especially because like Thailand is just great food. Yeah, it's like a really interesting culture. I've only been to like the Philippines, like in terms of Southeast Asia. It's not really the same. There's just like so much in terms of like their approach to like fabric design and stuff like that. They have their own fabric design that's like really interesting over there. So I would love to just explore that.
Thailand's your best bet. I think getting there is expensive, but once you get in, it's cheap and cheerful. And
Yeah.
Thailand probably is your next big move, but try not to avoid it during summer because it gets
Oh my
super
god. Yeah, Japan was like that in
Yeah.
summertime. It's terrible.
brutal.
So
Yeah.
I can only imagine in Thailand.
Yeah.
Yeah, Japan's hot in the summer.
Yeah, is it? How hot is it?
I've never been there. Assholes.
So, Pete, any other questions?
I think for me, it's like you do a lot by yourself. And I feel like I've been there. And I feel like you've been there, but I'm not 100% sure. But is there a time where you feel like, damn, this is very stressful? You feel, even though you do have all these friends helping you, you still feel very alone?
Yeah.
Like, how do you deal with it? Do you just stop working, or do you just keep going forward? Or how do you kind of reset yourself and get yourself back on track?
I don't know. I mean, I grapple with that like a lot, especially within the last 3 years of doing it completely independent. Because now it's not just like a project of mine. This is like my livelihood as well. So there are a lot of times where I'm like, damn, I can't just budget like a couple of weeks in advance. I have to budget like 6 months in advance for certain things, and I think that makes me like struggle with it because I've never had that type of responsibility before. Honestly, it's just like getting used to budgeting and everything. I think that's like helped me out a lot where I don't get really as frustrated. I think getting in a rhythm and figuring out what works in terms of like, okay, I can allow friends to help me with certain things that I used to never allow them. Like I used to shoot everything. I used to style everything. I used to do all the back end stuff and run the social media. Now, like I have friends that are willing to help with like a lot of that stuff. I think that helps me out. But in terms of like feeling lonely, I don't know. I think like having networks of like, I mean, people to vent to, like you guys kind of know exactly how that feels, and having like friends that run businesses and stuff like that, that would probably have that same type of plight that we do. It helps out a lot. And then other than that, just, I mean, having hobbies, I guess, just like kind of distract me for a little bit, and then like to help me like revisit some of this stuff that I might be struggling with.
Now, just to distract this interview a little bit, what kind of hobbies are you talking about?
What kind of hobbies? Mountain biking, skimboarding. I picked up skimboarding in the last year. Yeah, I do that like, well, not recently because it's been cold, but I was going like almost weekly down to the shore just to like go skimboarding and stuff like that.
That's impressive.
Yeah.
I don't know if I could do that.
Honestly, there's been quite a few times where I almost like broke my ankle. So I'm like not trying to do that. Like I was like, damn, dude, I gotta be mindful of this. But other than that, yeah, just like mountain biking, skimboarding, and I tried picking up tennis, which was kind of stupid.
That's great.
No, it's a great sport. It's just like trying to teach yourself tennis sucks. Like it's
Play pickleball with Pat and call it a day.
man, I already give Pat enough shit about pickleball, man. It's such a fake sport.
Do you feel like as you get older, like you don't go out as much and you feel like you're more concentrated with the brand now? I feel like, you know, in general, when young people start a brand, they tend to go out too much or think, you know, they need to be out there and be socializing and stuff like that. But now as you got older, Fran, that you're more concentrated with Paratodo. Like it's just like, you know, as you were young, it's like people want to do this, do that, and do this. But now it's like as you get older, you don't want to go out. You're at that age where you just want to fucking stay in.
What age is this? I don't know if I got there yet.
Oh, it's weird. I mean,
what I'm saying?
I know. I get what you mean. It's actually kind of weird because I feel like I go out more now that I'm in my 30s versus when I was in my 20s. I think when I was in my 20s, I was very like self-conscious about a lot of that stuff. Like I don't know. I was like, oh, am I just being like a poser going to like this thing, even though I'm not like 100% like down for it or whatever. And I feel like I go out a lot more just because I don't know. One, I think I value being around like friends and stuff a lot more than I used to, and then two, I think like going out to these things tend to be like advantageous for like the company, but also tend to be like, oh, it was actually a pretty cool experience. I don't even know why I was writing it off beforehand. But I think now that I'm older and I live kind of farther away from like things that happen in the city or even up in New York and stuff, it's like I have to pick and choose like what I think would be like, you know, the best thing to like go to for me. You know what I mean? But I don't get butthurt if I miss anything. So I think learning that there's always going to be something else is kind of always helpful.
Yeah. Because like a lot of times I tell people like events, you don't have to go all of it, but at least try to go as much as you can. Just just to also like just talk to people.
Yeah, I was about to say like I've met and going to events alone. Like I've gone to, especially up in New York, I've had to go to events alone and stuff like that, and it's very nerve-wracking. You don't know anybody. It's a different city. I mean, being from Philly, you have like that like kind of like little brother city complex in comparison to places like New York, so you kind of always feel like you're the underdog. But I don't know, I go to these events and like, I mean, you'd be surprised that some people are actually like a little bit more hospitable than you think. And I don't know, you can walk away with like either like new connections, new friendships,
Because I hate when I go to parties and people are cliquey. And,
Yeah.
that's the worst. And
I mean, I would never like to be, like when we throw events and stuff like that, I try to make it a point to talk to everybody. Just because, I don't know, this person could be a big fan of you and they never got to see you in person and everything like that. And you don't want to disparage them from coming back, or like, you don't want to make anybody feel like they're not wanted. You know what I mean? I never wanted to do that. Yeah, exactly. Kill them with kindness.
Fran's one of the kindest people I know, Rick.
Yeah.
Shut the fuck up. No, I'm not. I try not to be an asshole anymore.
Yeah. Well, you matured.
love that.
I mean,
Yeah.
obviously-
Yeah, I think
He's changed, yeah.
Yeah.
Beginning, obviously, when you have your own brand now, but also you got older, you realize like, why be a dick?
Yeah, I was about to say, I think it's more so like just maturing and just like when I got older, I started to like value a lot of different things and started realizing that like, I don't know, I was being angry for like some of the wrong reasons and shit. So, just me maturing kind of negated a lot of that anger.
Being in the right relationship.
And that too, being in the right relationship definitely helps.
I'm not gonna go there.
Damn.
No, I'm saying
Yeah.
it's all the past and whatnot.
Oh God.
I guess, how funny do you think it would be if you yourself went back in time and told your high school version who's been changing schools, like, hey, you're gonna be a brand owner one day? How would that kid respond? It's like, you stupid.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't even know. I'd probably like the younger me probably would have thought I was corny or something like that. I don't know. Like when I was 18, I didn't know what the hell I was doing. I didn't think I was gonna go to college. I didn't think I was gonna like find any like thing that really motivated me.
What would you done for work when you were younger? What would you
I don't
think you
know.
want to do for a living? Like, hey, I'm gonna work here or do that.
Well, like I think that's what pushed me to like study like criminal justice or study stupid stuff that you just like that you just aren't. I don't want to say they're
not
stupid, but
right.
like stuff that I had no right or not no right. I had no reason studying criminal justice other than the fact that like my dad was a cop, my mom was a cop, my sister was a cop. You know what I mean? It's like just follow in the family footsteps of like doing stuff like that. And I never even wanted to do that, but I kind of felt myself like residing to that when I was like 18. And I was like, oh shit, I don't know what I'm gonna do, so I guess I'll have to follow in these footsteps. So I think part of me would be like, oh, you're corny, but then the other part of me would like probably come around and think that was, oh, that's actually kind of cool. You followed something in the art realm. It might not be 100% like painting or like sculpting or anything like that, or explicitly graphic design, but it's something in the design realm. So
I mean, honestly, I think it's been a pleasure for Key and I to watch these guys grow up. You know, becoming teenagers, becoming men. You know,
Damn.
And
Yeah.
it's been an interesting journey for us to see you guys. Because I mean, Fran came in with braids, and you know,
I'm growing them back, bro.
yeah, but it's just like you're a whole different person when you came in and
Yeah.
how you are now. You know.
Yeah.
I mean, I think we're all just growing old together, which is my favorite part. Like, Rick just got his first kid, and then you're probably gonna propose to Joanne next year.
That's
You know, there's so much going on. You know, we're growing.
Damn. I mean, yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's definitely crazy to know that, like, I mean, I've been with you guys for over like 12, 13 years now.
Yeah.
Maybe even, longer. So like 2010. So like, yeah, 15 years almost.
I mean, you came to my wedding. I mean, it's
Yeah.
like crazy, you know. It's like we see each other, how we grew, like the growth and everything in general. Like
Yeah.
he's been around our family events and stuff like that, and our.
Oh yeah, he
our
pretty much knows our entire family.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's crazy, you know. I can't believe he almost became a cop.
Yeah,
Some
I
ways.
mean,
He's
shit.
been like
I-
Keanu Reeves, right? Undercover, surf cop. Remember that movie? What's that
Oh
movie?
my
Exactly.
God!
That's
What
it
was
right
it? What was
here.
that?
Yeah,
Breakpoint.
Breakpoint. Right here.
Breakpoint right here.
2005, new version, Netflix. Pick it up.
Damn.
Wow, that would have been crazy. I think, you know, following your family's footstep. I think in many ways you were rebellious because of that. I think you had some sort of like, you just want to break out of it, and you didn't know how, and you were just finding your way. And
Yeah, I mean, I think, yeah. I mean, when I was in college, I kept thinking to myself, like, I'm like putting all this effort into like plan B in a sense. Like, I'm putting a lot of effort into studying to like become like a cop or whatever, or work for like the government in a certain way. And I spent all that time doing that and never really figured out what plan A was. And I always knew I had this instinct for like art and design and everything like that. And it was something I wanted to explore prior. I mean, my dad kind of convinced me not to go to like an art school and shit when I was like 18. So it was one of those things that I felt I kind of was obligated to, I owed that to myself to at least explore what plan A could be instead of just putting all this effort into plan B.
what kind of cop do you think you would have been?
Dirty cop.
I
for
probably would
sure.
have been a dirty cop, honestly. Yeah, unfortunately, I don't know. Like, I
You
don't.
probably would beat the shit out of you or something.
No, not like
You
that.
give
I
him
don't.
an iPod,
I don't
he'll let
know,
you go,
man.
bro. Just give him an
Yeah,
iPod.
I was a bit. I wasn't, dude. No, dude. That's why I don't think cops should take it for the money. Cops should because they want to like protect other people or
Right.
something. It shouldn't be because like they want to get like a good pension. So
I guess, I mean, touching base on what you just said earlier, like, does your parents approve of what you're doing today?
I mean, my mom does. My dad kind of does. I mean, he's older now, so it's like he's like kind of doesn't really like tune into that stuff as
He
much
doesn't
anymore.
understand your world. That's what it is.
Yeah, he
It's
doesn't
just-
understand
yeah,
what I do.
yeah.
I mean, I could tell him 1,000 times that I run a clothing company, but he'll still ask me like what I exactly do,
Yeah.
and I kind of don't know what to tell him at this point. But he doesn't like pester me about it. My mom's been supportive. I mean, my mom asked me questions and like updates like about the company and stuff like that, and I mean, she tries to support and everything like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Before it wasn't like that though. I mean, my dad used to think I was
Get a real job.
Yeah, my dad would tell me to get a real job. My dad wanted me to become like a firefighter or something
Jesus
like that. I was
Damn.
like, what the hell? Like,
You'd be a good firefighter.
no, I wouldn't.
Put you on the calendar.
Oh my
Fran,
god.
My house is still burning, bro.
Exactly, dude. It's like, what the hell would I be doing?
I'm not going in there. That's like, yeah. But no, I think your dad just don't understand that world. And two,
I mean, we had the same experience.
yeah, it's,
You know.
to this day, you know, it's one of those things where they still sometimes don't understand what we do. It's one of those things where parents are always going to worry about you no matter what.
Yeah.
Because they're so used to structure. They're used to like, all right, you go to
Security,
work, 9 to 5,
insurance.
you know, you do this, you do that, you get paid, you go home, you take care of the kids. They don't understand like our world where
Yeah.
sometimes we'll come home late or we have to go to this event or do this or do that, go to New York or go to trade shows and
Yeah.
stuff like that. They don't get that. So
Well, I was about to say too. It's like, I mean, I used to get upset that like my dad didn't approve of it, or if my mom didn't understand it, or whatever. And then I got to the point where, especially after leaving like P's and Q's and like leaving like an actual job and starting on this like solo venture, it's like I can't even care about that stuff anymore. Like if they don't understand, they don't understand, and that's fine. Like I kind of don't look for that acceptance anymore. It's just like, just let them know that I'm all right. Let them know that I don't need their help or anything like that. And I think that just puts them at ease. You know what I mean? So yeah. But I don't want my I don't want my dad like feeling compelled to like, oh well, like when's the new drop or something like that. Like I never expect
spring summer. Right?
Yeah, where's spring summer? Like I'm not gonna expect my dad to come around and ask me about that type of stuff because it's like, you know, he doesn't even know what the hell I'm talking about.
Wait, does he rock Paratodo?
My dad does have. He has something. He has like one of the beanies, and then he has like a hoodie from Paratodo. But other than that, no, not really. I mean,
He has enough pieces.
yeah, it's
He's
enough
probably
pieces.
a simple man,
Yeah,
anyways.
exactly. He a Ralph Lauren boy, anyway.
That's a Philly uniform.
Yeah. Nah, he's good. I think sooner or later he'll understand. But just in the meantime, just keep doing what you're doing, Fran. Obviously, you're doing a great job representing.
Amazing,
yourself.
beautiful.
Damn.
And globally,
Appreciate that.
You know, this is awesome. You know, we're really proud of you, Key and I. You know.
No, thank you guys for all the help too. It's like, I mean, shit. I mean, I wouldn't be anywhere close. I wouldn't even be in this industry at all if it wasn't for you guys giving me that chance to like even work at P's and Q's or even model at Abacus. And it's like, I don't know. Like I said before, those types of experiences is kind of what, you know, introduced me into this as more than just a consumer, more than just somebody who buys products and stuff like that and then grows out of it. It's like, oh, this kind of satiates a lot of the things I've been wanting in my life. So I appreciate that
I'm not
from
gonna
you
lie.
guys.
I feel electricity. We should hug it out right now or something, you know?
You always want to hug,
You guys wanna hug it
bro.
out?
I was gonna
No?
wrap it up by saying,
Wait,
rappers' dreams can come true.
that's true, Rick. But before we go, Fran, can you give us your Biggie impression?
No, that's not my
Come
impression.
on.
That's fucking Meatball's impression, dude.
Oh, but you have one.
No, it's
Who's pulls it out like
bad.
this?
No, man.
No, leave me alone, bro. I'm not doing that impression.
All right, bro. Thank you, man.
Thank you, Fran.
Hope you guys enjoyed this. See you guys later.
Peace.
Peace.